Hi everyone, Adam here, and this is what I've played. This is just some of the video games I've been playing over the last few months, and I'll just give you a quick rundown of what I thought. First off, I got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga collection. So far I've only played the original arcade game, used to play that when they used to have it at the cinemas before we went to the movies. You get 4 people playing. It's amazing how short that game is when you have unlimited credits though. But it was fun, kind of a nostalgia trip. I will get around to playing some of the other games soon though, because I think it'll be fun. Yeah, another game I've played is Destroy All Humans 2. Obviously the sequel to the original, some pretty funny gameplay. They haven't changed the dialogue or anything, so it's kind of politically incorrect, but it's pretty funny. I had to put a disclaimer at the front because of how sensitive people are these days, but I just found it funny. Yeah, and the funny thing is, the one with this thumbnail got the most views. I'm not sure why. Gameplay, it's not too bad. They do have a... it's not as hard as the other game. You are able to select the difficulty, which the other game didn't have. But yeah, pretty funny. It's like I said, I love the politically incorrect kind of nature of it. But yeah, it was fun. I'd say if you like the first one, it's worth giving a look. Also played The Last of Us Part 1, and know what some people think, you're a sucker for buying it again, but here's the thing, I don't care. But it does look fantastic on the PlayStation 5. And the way you use it as a controller, just little things like you can feel the pitter-patter of rain, and the different feel of weapons. It's probably the best use of the PlayStation controller. If you played it, you know the story. It's a wonderful story. They haven't really changed gameplay too much. I mean, you do get to see the crafting, which wasn't in the original game, but it's still a great story, and I'm looking forward to the series that is starting very soon. Anybody else? Spot on performances. After that, I did another playthrough of The Last of Us Part 2. It was good to play without all the controversy. I don't want to say too much, but people went nuts because of what happened in the game. Sending death threats to developers and actors, that's just stupid. But yeah, and it was kind of good to play back to back because you see there's a similar theme, like what happened with Joel and Ellie, Abby and Liv. I didn't hate it as much as some people. At the end of the day, it's just a game. They're fictional characters, and that's a good way to play them. Play them back to back, and it works pretty well. Stray, this is about a cat who obviously gets lost and gets trapped in a futuristic city, pretty much sealed off, and only has robots in it. Yeah, gameplay was kind of interesting. You have to try to open the walls to the city by helping the robot. It was pretty fun playing as a cat. You get to meow and claw the furniture. It's basically a cat simulator, a futuristic cat simulator, but the cat is adorable. And I'm going to give it credit for being such a unique game, and it's actually surprisingly emotional, even though it's got a cat and a robot. Look, if you want something different, and if you like cats, I'd recommend Stray. Gameplay, yeah, it's pretty decent. Also, A Plague Tale Requiem. This is the sequel to A Plague Tale Innocence, which I thought was a really good game. This one, they've expanded the play a bit. Seeing this as a sequel, bad things are going to happen again, but I gotta say, I love the relationship between Hugo and Amicia. She'll do anything to protect him from the evil forces. I will say it's best to play the first one to get the full context of the story. They have added other things, but there's still a focus on stealth, which I do like, even though I've said it before, I'm not the best at stealth, but like the first one, you have to really think about what tactic you're going to take. But the story was really good and went in a direction I didn't expect. I really hope there is another one and see what happens next. Next up, I played The Chant, which is about a young lady who's going to a relaxation retreat And if you know horror stories, anything that's set in an isolated retreat is not a good thing. Because, it turns out there's some supernatural forces on this island which he has to try to defend to get things kind of back to normal, I guess is the best way to describe it. Not too bad. I thought the gameplay got a little repetitive. I didn't mind the story though. The story was kind of interesting, to say the least. The voice acting was pretty decent as well, I'd say. If you like kind of a horror story, then yeah, I'd say give it a look. Next up, God of War Ragnarok. This is about Kratos on a quest for anger management. Okay, I'm joking, but I won't give anything away about the story, but I will say the combat's really good. I've been drawn into the story. But yeah, it looks great. You get to fight monsters and bad guys. It's a really good follow-up to the original, I'd say. If you like the first one, get this one. Okay, I haven't finished it yet, but I'd say if you like the first one, get this one, which you probably already have. So, combat excellent, and I've got to give credit to the voice actors or the actors too, doing a great job. Especially the actor who plays Kratos. What was his name? Christopher Judge. But pretty much, I haven't come across any flaws in this game, to be honest. I have died a few times, but yeah. But still, yeah, very good game, yeah. Next up is the Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me. This is what they're calling the season finale. It's about a documentary film crew that is invited to a replica of the murder house of H.H. Holmes. You know what the most interesting thing about this is? That is actually the murder house is actually based on a true story, which I found interesting. Good thing is it has that. It has a documentary on the game. Okay, if you've played the Dark Pictures anthology or any of these sort of games from Supermassive, you kind of know what to expect. This one's getting mixed reviews, but I did enjoy it. I didn't save everyone. I don't think I ever have in any of the games. I think the best I've done is got one person killed. One day I hope to not kill anyone in these games, but yeah, look, I did like it. It's got mixed reviews, but some of the puzzles I did get a bit stuck on. But you know what? I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's the best in the Dark Pictures anthology. Not the worst, but a pretty decent addition, I'd say. Next up, we have Tales from the Borderlands. This is a narrative game based on the Borderlands game. The most surprising thing about this is how well the concept actually works. It's funny. It still has some of the violent humour, from the games. And some pretty good characters. It's worth checking out, I'd say, if you like a narrative game or if you like Borderlands. After I finished that, I went to New Tales from the Borderlands. Once again, set in the Borderlands world, but this time we have a new cast of characters, still in the early stages of it, so I do want to see where the story goes, though. There's still some pretty good humour in it as well. Another game I just started recently is Little Nightmares 2. Something I've had on my backlog for a while, I've been wanting to play. It's quite an interesting. It's kind of got an interesting look to it, but it's kind of hard to describe. It's a platformer where you play a little creature, first to avoid big creatures with shotguns. So far, I'm sure there's more to it than that, but I kind of like it's got an interesting art style, and there is a feeling of dread to it, and the gameplay is quite interesting. I'm looking forward to getting back into that. On the Switch side of things, I recently picked up the Arcadia Bay collection. This is the remastered versions of Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm. They don't look too bad. I do think the gameplay works really well, especially in handheld mode. I've always thought these games would work on the Switch because they're done in kind of a episodic way. I mean, the facial animations is a lot better than what they used to have. But I've always enjoyed the story of Life is Strange. I've always liked the story and the characters in this game, and yeah, it works so well. You know, where, like in this game, you play as Max Caulfield, a high school student who inexplicably gets the powers to rewind time. We're also doing a murder mystery investigation, and I mean, it's about two friends trying to find out what happened to one of their students. And I've said this before, I kind of like how the original deals with a serious subject of online bullying and the effects. Even though this game has a fantasy element to it, the way it handles that is done in a fairly realistic manner. Alright, so that's all the games I've played recently. Let us know, have you played any of these, or are you interested in playing any of these? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm Adam, and I'll see you again soon.